Hello, this is Vaughan Schofield from Belvoir Wrexham. One of the things that may be slightly confusing to people at the moment is the difference between stamp duty and what we have in Wales, which is a land transactional tax. In fact, I'm sure most of us in Wales still call it stamp duty anyway, but there is a difference between land transactional tax in Wales and stamp duty in England. Broadly speaking, in England, what the Chancellor has done up until April next year is basically abolish stamp duty up to £500,000, and that includes also the purchase of a second property or third property. So there's no stamp duty to pay at all. In Wales, land transactional tax has actually been with us now for a couple of years, and it was quite a historic piece of legislation because it was the first time in about 600 years that the Welsh Government was allowed to raise tax for use within Wales solely through this particular measure. So they've changed the name, they've changed the brand of it to land transactional tax, and it means that they can actually dictate what level of tax is attributed to a house purchase. Now, what the Welsh Government have done during this post-COVID period is they have given a complete application of land transactional tax, up to a figure of 250,000. And in Wales, 80% of all house transactions are at that level or below. So it will favour most of the people most of the time. Not as attractive as it is in England to house purchasers, but to 80% of the people in Wales, it will score points, most definitely. It's quite interesting. Recently, we've just had a case whereby we've got a family moving from Warrington to the outskirts of Wrexham, and they were buying a large house which is overlooking a valley. It was everything that they've always dreamt of. It's a beautiful location. But of course, they hadn't appreciated the difference in terms of land transactional tax versus stamp duty, and therefore there was a bit of education there, in the sense that they weren't going to receive the same amount of relief as they thought they were going to get. But certainly between the two, the moving between Wales and England and vice versa, it is pretty advisable, I would say, to speak to an agent in order to make you aware, so at least you can prepare for any costs involved for you personally. Please do get in touch. You can contact me through wrexham@belvoir.co.uk, or indeed, why not phone the office? It's always good to talk. 01978 3 400 30.